It's going around. You have to be so careful.
For sure. How's the new semester going over there at UT?
Oh, it's going good. A good start. Can't believe spring break is almost upon us.
I know, it's flying by. I feel like we just had Christmas.
I know, right? How about wonder how USF is going. The our spring break is from the 9th through the 16th, so we always take the opportunity to get some, some projects done, like lighting projects or projects
For
you can't get
sure.
done when the students are here. So
Gotcha. I think we're getting a good turnout so far.
yeah, we'll wait for a few minutes until after, um, maybe a couple minutes after 3.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited that we're going to have the in-person meeting over here at UT, and we
Mm-hmm.
have the parking all set up and no parking passes required. That'll be good.
Yes, thank you for all that parking information. That was really helpful. We'll get that added to
Yeah,
the e-blast so people know where to go.
yeah. And you can see how I'm technically challenged sometimes on working in a PDF file and just adding stuff on and text and all that kind of stuff. But I think it was pretty clear.
Yeah, it was super helpful.
Cool. Thanks.
I have to pull up. We have to also, I think, approve the other minutes.
Yeah, the December and January
Correct.
meeting minutes.
Yes. Pull that up. January. What's January? Okay.
And I don't think Erica is going to be in this meeting this week, right, Lori?
Correct. He's on PTO this week.
Right. Well deserved.
Mhm. Marty, it's 3:02. Should we go ahead and get started?
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good, Laura.
Okay, I'll start with roll
Hello.
call.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Um, it's Marty over at the University of Tampa. I'm the Energy Solutions Manager and acting chair. Um, Peng.
I could go down the list. Susan
Okay.
Boda.
Okay. Thanks, Laura.
Hey, Susan Boda with Banish. Welcome back, Lori. Good to see you.
Thank you. Brenton Mosher.
Brenton Mosher with USF Qatar.
Brian Gorky.
This is Brian Gerke with the International Student Support Team, which is under USF World.
Anthony Chamont.
Anthony Chamont with JNT.
Ellen Snelling. Well, Ellen is on the line. She's with Tampa Alcohol Coalition. Chris Bolton. Chris Bolnese? Bolnose? I don't know how to pronounce that.
It's Christina Bolnoy with Lochner.
Peter Shue. Peter Shue looks like he's on hold, but he's with FDOT District 7. Jason Jackman.
Hello, Jason here with Cutter.
Jim Hartwell.
Hello, Jim Hartwell, Law Enforcement Liaison for Element Engineering.
Michael Manis.
Hi, I'm at USF and Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Laisha Vehar.
Laisha Vehar with JMT.
Thank you. I am Lori Poleo with JMT. Just to let everyone know, this meeting is being recorded, and if you are not speaking, please mute your mics. Is there anyone else on the line that I may have missed? Okay, Marty, I believe that's everybody.
Thanks, Lori. Yeah, so I guess we'll start out by reviewing the and approval of the December meeting minutes. Do we have a first approval?
Sure, I'm first approval.
And a second?
Second.
Great. Thank you, Brian. And so now we have the January meeting minutes that we can review and approve. Do I have a first approval?
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. So next we're going to go through the business updates and the problem identification areas and follow-up. I did get an update from Paige at ACC there, and Paige Niehaus at ACC, and the city approved the Drew Park CRA, which will address the crosswalk issue, and she did not have a timeline yet on that Drew Park CRA project. The lighting issue at Bruce B. Downs and Holly Drive, do we have an update on that? I guess we have no update. I just wanted to mention to everybody I attended a kind of a solar lighting showcase yesterday, and it's a game changer. I mean, I've never seen technology. It's commercial grade solar lighting, mainly bollards and then street lighting. And they're getting full usage of the solar lights only with 2 or 3 hours of sunlight. And if they lose a day or two of sun, where we have cloudy days, they still have a good functional solar light. So I may want to talk to that, Lori, in the next in-person meeting here at UT. So I'll maybe give a few details on that technology. And when underground wiring to lights is an issue, and it's a good cost of a project when you add street lights or bollards, which most of the time require underground wiring. That's a big issue, and if you could get around that, with solar lighting, sometimes there's some good applications for that. The Kennedy Boulevard and Willow Avenue, Delaware Avenue, they're Westra, the city's contractor that's doing all that work, all the directional bore work. They're finishing up on the Kennedy piping. This whole project, hopefully sometime in April, will be finished, but this week it's affecting UT in a small way. They're south of Kennedy on Hyde Park Drive there, and they're later this week they're supposed to be north of Kennedy on University Drive and tying into a 12-inch water line that serves the UT, University of Tampa. That water line is a pretty old line, so we're hoping that it's not going to affect us. They're saying that it's not going to affect us at all. But then next week they'll be off of Poe Parkway, which is just 1 block west north of Kennedy, and they're going to be tied into some of our services, including fire services, and that will affect us, and they're going to give us a schedule on that. The North Boulevard between Cass and Kennedy, Josh, like we mentioned last week, that the grant didn't go through, wasn't awarded, but have some ideas floated out there that maybe we just concentrate on one crosswalk. It's and I'm thinking that moving forward, I'm going to go ahead and see if there's any interest here at the university in doing the crosswalk, which is our biggest problem along North Boulevard, right there by Pepin Stadium and then West Garage. So we're going to refocus that just to one crosswalk issue, probably the toughest issue on North Boulevard here through that thoroughfare on through the campus of university. And so that's the updates on the problem locations there. Calendar updates and activity reports. Law enforcement activity. I don't know if there's any new details on law enforcement activity from Tampa PD.
Hey guys, Matt Belmonte from Gresham Smith. I don't have anybody from anyone else from TPD on the meeting today, so I'll just update a couple things. We're doing a joint operation with HCSO Saturday night for the night parade. We're going to set up at IKEA. They're going to bring the Batmobile out. We'll be stepping up enforcement out there, and then following up with additional officers on Sunday for the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Matt. Any bicycle pedestrian reports? Any new details on those areas over there by USF or HCC there?
I'll just talk really quick. We have a couple of different things going on. We have this is a campus-wide event that Cutter's is participating in with FDOT on Monday, the 10th. It is Campus Safety Day. There used to be a national campus safety day that we would participate in September and October, but unfortunately in Florida, we're just too hurricane prone for that, so they've moved it to February. And so that will be happening during next Monday. So we will be out there giving education and safety items. A little outside of this area, but we are co-hosting our Temple Terrace Bike with the Mayor along with the City of Temple Terrace. This is our 11th annual ride, and that is Friday, March 7th at 8 a.m.
Great. Thanks, Brenton. Yeah, so Eric is not here on planned PTO.
Oh, and Walk Like Mad is happening on USF campus on Friday, March 28th.
Right. See that.
Brian has
great.
his hand up.
I'm
Brian?
sorry, Lori.
Brian was raising his hand. I don't.
Oh, okay. Am I the only one that sees that, Lori?
Yeah, I saw Brian's hand go up. I thought he had a question.
Oh, okay.
I was muted. I apologize. You probably saw my lips moving and no sound. We had a recent bicycle, pedestrian, auto, scooter, skateboard safety event. About 11 students attended. It was at the FAO building. Our friend Jason Jackman was there. We also had Officer Reeder from USFPD. And we will be at the event that Brenton mentioned, the Bowles Health and Safety event. And we'll be doing crosswalk safety, including a couple of testimonials from 2 Bangladesh students who had either accidents or near accidents on bicycle and scooter. And then we're going to have a little board on hotspots in and around the USF Tampa area. And I wanted to ask either maybe think about it, and if you have any ideas for me, you can provide it if you can't think of it now, later in the meeting. But we are looking for a source to help guide us on accidents, either bicycle, pedestrian, auto, that have occurred on campus or off. And would you think like the Signal 4 Analytics dashboard would be a good source, or are there any other sources that would let us know, within that time period of accidents that have occurred in those areas? Okay, think about it.
I think Signal 4 Analytics is probably your best platform for crash data.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, that event sounds really compelling. Look forward to that. Thank you. All righty. So I think that kind of sums up the calendar update, the activity reports there, and Lori's back to go over our fatal crash maps.
Yes, this one's actually going to be short this month, thankfully, because can you guys see that? Kind of hard to see. So I see a couple of new faces on here. So these are our fatal crash maps. There is a 60-day lag in the crash data due to the Senate bill. So the crash data goes through November 23rd of 2024. So by the next meeting, we should have all of 2024 data, hopefully, so we could do a year-end analysis. But from January 1st to November 23rd, there have been 20 fatal crashes. And at the last CTST meeting from January 1st to October 29th, there were also 20 fatal crashes. So for the first time in a while, there has not been any new fatal crashes added to the fatal crash map, which is awesome. So no changes, but the same time period in 2023, there were 14 fatal crashes. So we are up by 6 fatal crashes, same time period. So we were doing worse than 2023 through November 23rd. And yeah, these fatal crash maps we do every single month, and we break it down by using GIS. going over the different college campuses within a 1 mile proximity of the college campus. So you can see University of South Florida has the most fatal crashes within the 1 mile proximity to their campus, followed by UT and HEC Dale Mabry. So that is the updates. Typically, I go into more detail of the types of fatal crashes, but luckily we have no new ones this month. That is everything.
Oh, great. That was, I like this short
I know.
areas on the fail crash maps. And I kind of mentioned this last month that, we had, 2 hurricanes this year and got all this construction on Kennedy Drive, and there's a lot of work being done. So I think there's a lot of, that factors into that. But wow, congratulations. 0. So I guess open forum announcements is next up, and we wanted to discuss the new vice chair for CTST University segment. And I could tell everybody that Katie's going away party was great. We're going to miss her very much, and they had kind of a note box that you could just write a personal note and put it in the box. So I put a note on their behalf of the whole CTST team and said that, hey, Katie, check in with us one of these times. And to that point, is she still getting the is Eric still sending out the meeting dates and everything to Katie? I hope so. So we'll have to make sure if once I get her new email address over there at Tico, I'll pass that along to you guys. And if you get it first, then we'll make sure she still gets the meeting appointments and stuff. So, but I don't know, Lori, do we ask for volunteers at this point, or if there's any interest there? We just put it on the agenda the first time this month. We could take a little time just to think about that if you want. But we'll definitely miss Katie in that vice chair role.
For sure. Is there anyone that might possibly be interested in becoming a vice chair? Open for discussion. Anybody want to nominate anybody? Put them on the spot. Okay, I guess we could leave it open for next meeting, see if there's any further interest.
Yeah, that sounds great, Lori.
Cool.
And Lori's going to do a little presentation on MPS. This is PHB, and I talked to her yesterday, and there might be some folks here that don't understand what that is. I'm thinking it's from a traffic safety standpoint or traffic design, crosswalk design standpoint, JMT's expertise. So before you start a presentation, kind of tell everybody what MPS and PHE is. She gave me a good summary yesterday when I talked with her.
Yep. Yeah, so hello everybody. My name is Lori Poleo, traffic engineer at JMT. And today I will be discussing the key differences between the mid-block pedestrian signal, also known as an MPS, and a pedestrian hybrid beacon, also known as a PHB. Go to the next slide. Okay. So both MPSs and PHBs serve the same purpose, but have operational differences. They both enhance pedestrian safety at mid-block crossings by stopping traffic when activated, but each use different signal head configurations on the mast arm. So as you can see in these photos, the top photo, this is your pedestrian hybrid beacon with the cluster signal head configuration. And then the photo below is your mid-block pedestrian signal that looks more like your standard traffic signal. So both MPSs, this is acting wonky. Okay. So there are existing MPSs in Pinellas County on 4th Street. FDOT District 7 is developing a PSA for these crossings. So here is a draft video of the MPS PSA. I will play this. Do you guys hear the sound? help?
The Florida Department of Transportation
can.
District
Thank you,
7
Lori.
has installed mid-block pedestrian signals at 9 locations along US 92 or 4th Street as part of the median modification improvements from 30th Avenue North to 94th Avenue North in St. Petersburg. A mid-block pedestrian signal, or MPS, is a traffic control device that functions similarly to a regular traffic signal at a mid-block crossing location. It is intended to ensure the safety of all roadway users at pedestrian crossings. How to use the MPS properly. Pedestrians and bicyclists. To activate the pedestrian signal, press the button upon arriving at the intersection and wait to cross. Ensure that the walk signal is illuminated before stepping onto the crosswalk, and carefully look to see that all vehicles have come to a complete stop behind the designated stop line. As you cross, a countdown timer will display how much time remains for crossing. If you arrive while the countdown is already in progress, do not cross. Instead, press the button to start a new cycle and wait for the next walk signal. Drivers. Drivers should remain attentive to the traffic signal. A green light indicates that you may proceed as usual. If the signal turns red, stop completely at the stop bar. When the signal flashes, bring your vehicle to a full stop, look both ways, and proceed carefully only when the crossing is clear of pedestrians.
So it is important to know that MPSs are still under experimentation. The Traffic Engineering Manual TEM 5.2.3 states that an MPS is a hybrid pedestrian actuated or bicyclist actuated traffic control device that alternately directs traffic to stop and flashes a red indication during the pedestrian clearance interval. This traffic control device is under FHWA's MUTCD request to experiment process. So the FDOT has a request to experiment, but local agencies will need to get the request to experiment with the FHWA if they want to add an MPS on their roadways, which I'll show you more later what that entails. So here's an example of a pedestrian hybrid beacon. This video is a PSA by Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow.
In Florida, we all expect to get to our destination safely, no matter how we travel. The Department of Transportation is striving to keep people who walk safe by adding pedestrian hybrid beacons in areas with high pedestrian traffic. At the crosswalk, press the button to activate the beacon. The beacon will turn yellow, then change to red, requiring drivers to stop. Once the pedestrian has safely crossed, the beacon will flash red, then go blank, alerting to drivers they may proceed. Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow.
So additional PHB criteria can be found in TEM, Traffic Engineering Manual 5.2, including pedestrian count information, context classification, etc. So what are the key differences between an MPS and a PHB? Let's start with signal type. For MPS, that's on the left and your PHB is on the right. So for MPSs, they have a standard red, yellow, green indication similar to a traffic signal, whereas PHBs have your cluster head signal head configuration with 2 red indications above a single yellow indication. For visibility, MPSs, they rest on green until they're actuated by a pedestrian, whereas for PHBs, they rest in the dark phase until activated by a pedestrian. So they remain dark until pushed by the push button. For operation, MPSs, once activated, cycles through a steady yellow phase, a steady red phase, and then a flashing red phase. The flashing red phase is your pedestrian clearance interval, which tells you to only proceed when no pedestrians are in the crosswalk. For PHBs, once activated, it cycles through a flashing yellow phase, a steady red phase, and a wigwag red phase. The wigwag is when it flashes back and forth on the top of the cluster signal head. And again, that is for the pedestrian clearance interval. So here's a table summary of the things I just discussed. Some similarities between the two is that they both reduce unnecessary stops by being only pedestrian activated, and both allow traffic to proceed on flashing red during the pedestrian clearance interval once the pedestrians are cleared from the crosswalk. So for state roads, if a corridor has an existing PHB, FDOT will add a new PHB for corridor uniformity to not cause confusion. But if there are not existing PHBs, they'll consider MPS installation. For local agencies, they need to do a request to experiment with the FHWA if they want to add an MPS on their roadways. So here's the information to fill out a request to experiment for an MPS. You must send it electronically to MUTCD official request at dot.gov. The MUTCD states that a successful experiment is one where the research results show that the public understands the new device or application, the device or application generally performs as intended, and the device does not cause adverse conditions. The experimenter must evaluate conditions both before and after installation of the experimental device and describe the measurement of effectiveness of the safety and operational benefits, such as better visibility and reduced congestion. So how do MPSs and PHBs reduce crashes? How are they different in terms of crashes? So data was taken from an NCHRP research report 1030, Safety at Mid-Block Pedestrian Signals in 2023. The report compared an NCHRP study with an Arizona DOT study. The tables shown are the crash reduction factors from the study. So it shows there is a greater reduction in crashes for all crashes for an MPS versus a PHB, 34% versus 25%. So all crashes seem to go down overall statistically with MPSs versus PHB. And then for pedestrian crashes, 45% and 45%. So they overall show the same safety benefit. And then rear end crashes has a slightly greater reduction in crashes for rear end for MPSs versus PHB. But in general, the crash reduction factors for the MPS developed in these studies are pretty similar to the crash reduction factors identified for the PHB. So in FDOT District 7, there are 10 existing MPS locations and 3 planned MPS locations. So the existing is in green, and they include various locations along 4th Street and the Pinellas Bayway. And some planned locations in District 7 include Fowler Avenue at 14th Street, Fowler Avenue at Elmer Street, and Fowler Avenue at 52nd Street. And then outside of District 7, there are also some existing MPSs, and there are about 20 existing MPS locations. So here is a photo of an MPS that was installed on 4th Street and 75th Avenue. It still has the cover on it. So it was shortly after installation. So some resources is the MUTCD request to experiment for local agencies, as well as walk, bike, drive, mid-block pedestrian signals, which has some PSA information. There's also that Tier B paper on the guidance on mid-block pedestrian signals if you want more information. And then lastly, that NCHRP research report with the crash reduction factors on the differences between a pedestrian hazard beacon and a mid-block pedestrian signal. And that is everything I have. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
I have a couple comments. We have done education through an FDOT contract on these. There's also one on US 19 at Bartelt Road / Buena Vista Lane. That's one name on one side and one on the other. The only thing I would add to that is the MPS is currently 2-stage. So the pedestrian crossing has to push the button in the middle because it will not activate for the other side of traffic unless the pedestrian does that.
That's a great point. Thank you. Yeah, that's important. Is that something that's going to be added to the PSAs or?
I hope so. That I don't know. I wasn't involved in that PSA, although it sounded like Eric narrating.
Was that his voice? I wasn't sure.
It sounds like it, but I don't know.
Okay,
So
thank you.
He's not here to ask. So.
Gotcha.
We are also going to be doing education on the pedestrian hybrid beacons that are being installed at Bush Boulevard, which is just slightly outside this area. There's one at Bush and near 22nd and one near Bush and 18th Street. So we are currently doing other projects, but that will be our next educational push.
Well, thanks so much for that, Lori and Brendan. It's amazing the technology advancements on these pedestrian crosswalks and other technology. Only going to help us be more safe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jason
Any
has
other
his hand
open
up.
discussion? I'll finish up and mention the
think
next month's meeting. But any other open discussion items?
Yeah, this is Jason Jackman at Cutter. Nice to see everyone. Great meeting. It's been a while since I've been to CTST meeting. Wanted to give an update. I'm working on a FDOT program called the Peer-to-Peer, University Peer-to-Peer program, where we educate and encourage students at universities on pedestrian bicycle safety. One of the added parts to the program is micromobility safety. And Brian's here to attest. It's been an issue on campus, on and off campus. So we are starting to promote some micromobility safety as part of the peer-to-peer program. And the idea with peer-to-peer is that, we have students educating other students. This is I believe our 5th year working on this program, and it really started as a pilot, and we've expanded to 6 universities, probably working on 7 this year. So USF's one of those universities. We do include USF St. Pete as well. But we're going to probably have some new materials to distribute on campus. We're trying to make some general materials too, so other universities that aren't really officially participating can share with their students. Yeah, it's going well so far, but there's a lot of outreach to be done. And again, it's working with other universities, not just USF. So, and we partner with Brian, and then obviously Julie and Brenton. It's a good partnership on campus, especially with the university police department too. So, just want to give an update on that. And also, if you're available on February 26th, at 6 p.m., there's a transportation panel at USF. I'll be giving the pedestrian and bicycle safety program there. There'll be someone from Tampa International Airport and the Port of Tampa also as a panel member. But it's the idea of transportation in Florida, and my side of it will be the importance of pedestrian and bicycle safety. So that's February 26th. I'll send a flyer out when that's completed, but it's on campus. Thank you all.
Well, thanks for that, Jason Blackman. I'm sure that UT will be very much interested in that. Any other open announcements or open discussion?
I see Ellen Snelling posted in the chat that the Tampa Alcohol Coalition meets on February 11th at 3 p.m. at Tampa PD District 2.
Great. Thank you, Ellen, for that.
That's the one on 30th Street, right? Right across from Busch Gardens. I think.
Yes.
Yes,
Can you hear
that's
me?
it, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, 9330 North 30th Street.
So we were able to confirm we could have our in-person meeting next month. I think it's on March 5th or here at the University of Tampa in the campus safety training room. And I'd like to share some of the things I've learned on commercial solar lighting and how far that technology's come. Some of the stuff I looked at yesterday, they incorporate a smart controller within the light itself that can, dim, can turn the lights off. As I mentioned, it only takes 2 or 3 hours of full sunlight, and you can have that coupled with the controller. You can have light for days to come without even all sunny days. So I think it's a game changer. They showed some applications in remote areas where you can't get wiring to very easily, and then they've done some work at some universities. I'll try to be, kind of not trying to sell any particular technology, but then just come from a technical standpoint and my actually experiences when I was with the city of St. Pete and Duke Energy. So I don't know if anybody would be interested in seeing that. I could put a quick presentation together and have that ready for the March meeting.
Sounds great.
Okay. Yes, so that sounds good. Looking forward to it. And if there's no other open discussion or comments, then I guess we could convene the meeting, huh? But thanks for all for being here, and looking forward to meeting some of the new people. And guys, have a good rest of the week and month.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.